I was going to make a video about my outfit for Valentine's Day, but unfortunately, I'm still going to make the video, but unfortunately it was unexpected. I got a bad news, and I wasn't really expecting myself to talk about love per se, but I'm going to talk about love because it's about love. Like a person that I really loved, like that was the only person I ever loved in my life. That's why Valentine's Days are really not for me, because actually, I was going to say that I hate Valentine's Day because it's kitsch and doesn't make sense, and I'm cringed by everything romantic, but actually that's not entirely true. I am cringed by everything romantic, but not always. Like, I'm cringed by everything romantic because every single time it's like somebody else hitting on me, and I don't care about I don't want to sound harsh, but I don't feel anything towards that person. And like, I ever loved only one person in my entire life, and if it was about that person, I wouldn't cringe. I just cringe at everybody else, and I cringe at everything else, and really triggers me. Like, I hate everything romantic. It really triggers me because, like, first of all, I think it triggers me on many levels because, like, the person I loved never got to have any, like, happiness in those fields ever. Like, that person was very unlucky when it comes to those things. Like, and that person never learned that I loved them, because it was years ago when that person died, and I was a child. Yes, they were an adult. I know it sounds creepy, but right now I'm an adult. That wouldn't be creepy anymore. Yeah, don't mind it. Whatever. And like, so I get cringed. I get kind of angry that this person, like, for example, in a romantic movie, this person is an asshole and still gets to get all the things that the person that I loved so much never got to have. And the second of all, that love is so cheap in those movies. Like, it's something that, I want to do, like, I love this person, like, more than anything. And it's like, it's something spiritual. I feel like it's something, I love this person on multiple levels, and I could talk about this person in a lot of ways, and you would be like, wait, you're talking about the same person? That's creepy. You love this person in this way and that way and that way, and that's the only kind of love I understand. And I never, like, I always tell people I'm incapable of love, but actually that's very true and very untrue, because I love that person in every single way, but only that person. I never loved anybody else. Even if I liked somebody else, it's either because they had some qualities that this person had, and they kind of reminded me of that person, or that they for a moment made me not think about them and not suffer that much. And everything I ever done in my life was either to, like, feel closer to that person or not think about them. And actually today, when I started thinking about this, I actually started feeling really, really sad because I miss this person very much. I'm even afraid of something good happening to me, because anytime something good happens, I'm sad that this person is not there. And every time something very bad happens, I'm also sad that this person is not there, and I always feel like it would be better if they were there, and probably that wouldn't happen. But actually, that's probably not true, because when that person was around, bad things still would happen. So yeah, but I always imagine that all the bad things that happen right now, they wouldn't be happening, and some of them probably wouldn't. Like, probably depends on a thing, because some of the things they could be dependent on that person being there. Anyway, the news that I got, the bad news, that's not the bad news, but introduction, like, because that wouldn't make sense. The person that I loved, like, the only person I ever loved, was from Gaza. And I was kind of prepared for the fact that something may happen to his house. I mean, he doesn't live there anymore because he got unalived, but I was still, that's very silly because people are getting alive every day, like in horrific ways, but I was still like really worried about the house of a guy who's not there. But his house was still standing there. I was still worried about his house because I was feeling so sad when I think that something could happen to his house, because like I always, I just care about his memory, and like it really upsets me when something bad happens to his memory, or it upsets me when people say bad things about him, because I'm like, he cannot defend himself. Like I always argue with people to defend him, and I always defend him, and I always will. And anyway, that's not funny at all. Like I today I got a message. Like today I got a news that his house got destroyed, and I know that his house was still standing a few days ago. All this time, I didn't know whether his house was standing or not. But a few days ago, I learned that it was still standing, because I saw it on some video. It was taken by IDF. And I was like, oh my god, they are so close, they are so close. So I was really, really worried. And I was like, are they going to do that? And I was praying that no, but they destroyed his house, but by some missile, by some rocket probably. So it wasn't by a tank or anything like that, what I expected. So, but it's not like fully destroyed, which I'm happy. At least the walls are still standing, because some of the houses, they are like completely razed to the ground. But the walls are still standing, just the ceiling collapsed, and there's like a lot of rubble everywhere, and it's grey because of the ash. And but the walls are still standing, and like I think that the first floor probably looks a lot like the ground floor, probably looks relatively normal if you walk inside. I mean, not entirely normal, but it's like not entirely collapsed like some of the buildings. They are completely destroyed, so at least I'm happy it's not completely destroyed. And what I didn't expect, I kind of felt some kind of relief, but at least I know what's going on with his house. But right now, I thought to myself, as soon as I learned that, I was like, I'm going to go there. I'm going to rebuild this house. Like, I'm such a weirdo. Like, seriously, so many people right now will need rebuilding houses. That was my plan to anyway, to go there and rebuild. But I'm going to go there, and people are going to be homeless, and I will tell them, no, sorry, I'm going to be rebuilding a house of this guy who's dead, and what I'm going to rebuild his house because I love him, and that I'm going to, like, people are going to laugh at me. I'm so already anxious about this. I hope, inshallah, I hope I get a permit to go to Gaza. I would be so happy, and I would be so happy. Like, I would be the happiest person. And like, I just want to go there. I also want to help people that are alive rebuild their houses, so I don't look like, I also want to help them. I don't want them to be homeless, but I also don't want to look like some weirdo. But I want to at least help his house being rebuilt, because it breaks my heart. And also, like, I'm like, if nobody else does it, I want to do this. Like, I don't know if somebody else does it, because like some people maybe they will do that. Maybe they will be like, yeah, but I am worried about this, because like a house that nobody lives in, so maybe nobody will rebuild it, especially that like there's a lot of things that need rebuilding. But when I got this message, I already got this message with like, oh, we are going to rebuild this. Yes, we are going to rebuild. So at least I know that somebody is wanting to do that. I don't know how much of that will happen, because like it costs money to rebuild a house, and it also takes time, and there's a lot of things to rebuild. So I don't know when this will happen. Maybe it will happen in years from now, but I want to help. I really want to help. And like, oh my god, if I went inside his house, I would start crying so much. Like, he never got to go back to his house. He got unalived outside of his house. Oh my god, I would be crying if I went inside his house. Like, even I had few times I had dreams about his house before I learned it got destroyed, when it was still standing. And in my dreams it was also still standing. And so it was true what I saw in my dreams. And actually, like, even in this picture, it looks so much similar to what I saw in my dreams. I've never been to the house, by the way. But so yeah, and right now, but I hope they don't destroy this further, I really want to rebuild this house. Even if it's a ruin, I will go there and I will cry probably. Because, you know, all of his things will be still there. Like, I will be so close to him, kind of. Like, oh my god. I started after thinking about this for some time, and I'm thinking, for example, you know, because it was his city, what he loved, and what, like, made me so sad that he's not there. Like, oh my god. Yeah. I have two moods, either, like, completely dissociating or reminding myself and crying. So, I was going to make a video for Valentine's Day, so you probably guess that Valentines are not my thing. I will never celebrate them. But you know, if I wear hearts, it's like I always said to people that it's like completely absurd that I ever wear hearts because I'm incapable of love. But actually, I am maybe more than them. It's very, you know, it's very it's a paradox that you know, I know what is love because I don't know what is love, because I don't have it, so I long for it. So I'm the only one who actually knows what is love, because I know I can appreciate love because I don't have it. And those who know what is love, they don't know it is love. It's like, it's a paradox. So yeah. I don't know, like, oh my god, probably nobody will watch this video because, like, they will be like, this person is so strange. If anybody even sees, like, the miniature of this video, like, they will be like, wow, this person is so strange. But anyway, let's go to my outfit. I even forgot that I am going to be showing an outfit. But never mind, anyway. So this is a sweater, which has like a really cute lace and a very cute heart, and I really like I really like this sweater. And I have those pants. I'm sorry, I laugh when I'm anxious. I always laugh when I'm anxious. That's a very bad trait, because then people think I'm crazy, because I laugh in sad situations. And here's a bracelet, and because of that I also have a very dark sense of humor. The more sad something is, the more I start laughing. So that's very bad actually, because I laugh at jokes about people getting unalived. So actually that makes me like laugh very hysterically. Some time ago I saw a meme about somebody being unalived in a very brutal way, and I laughed for like a few days. So because that's very disturbing, and when I'm disturbed I laugh. So, and I'm disturbed a lot of times I just walk and I laugh like an idiot, and people think I'm laughing at some joke, and I'm just very disturbed. Oh my god, you're going to be afraid of me. You should be, actually. So I also have this bracelet that I made myself. It reminds me of a lollipop that I saw when I was a kid, and I was like, this is such a pretty lollipop. I don't even like lollipops, but it looked so pretty. And age progression is my coping mechanism, so I always go back to things that I saw as a child, because back then the only person I ever loved was still alive. I don't know if the only person I ever loved was still alive when I saw that lollipop, but I always go back to childhood, because it's like, makes me feel closer to that person. And that person loved children. Anyway, I also have this ring with a heart, and with those zircony, whatever they are called, those stones. And I also have those earrings that are like hearts. By the way, today I'm going to be calling my friend who also loves that person. Like, we kind of bonded over that, because we started talking about that person because we met on the same day that I was visiting that person's grave. And I came back from visiting their grave, and we were talking, and I told that person that I was there, and he was like, he seemed really moved, like he immediately liked me. Because he also loved that guy, and like, he was a really lovable person. Like, he was so amazing. Like, he was like true smooth. He was like, he was really resilient. Like, even in this destroyed house of his, even in this house in Gaza, he would live there right now. He would live there right now because he wouldn't mind living in a destroyed house. He would live in different spaces that were not livable, and he would be fine. He would once live in a cave for some time. So this wouldn't even be his first time living in a building that has holes in walls. Like, that wouldn't be his first time. He was not a bourgeoisie. So he was a real working class man. People say that's not true, but I say that's true. So it's true. People say he was secretly rich and he was lying, but that's not true. Stop the gossips. And also, I was going to say something, but I forgot what I was going to say. So he still would be able to live inside that house, and the first floor was still like, the top floors of that house were still like less nice. So anyway, like he mostly was on the ground floor most of the time, so that's why the ground floor is the best. That's very strange that I know so many things about this. I'm not going to say random man. He was not random. He was the best. He was amazing. But yeah, that may seem strange to some people. Anyway, I have this necklace with a heart as well, and actually it has a story. That I was in Palestine and I got a necklace exactly like this one that I got for my 18th birthday from my mom's best friend. And I lost this necklace, or likely it got stolen from me. I had entire box of jewelry, and all of them, they got stolen, and I had a lot of silver and gold jewelry. Like, I lost a lot of my jewelry on that day, which really kind of back then I was crying, and like I was already in a very, very bad state when I lost that jewelry. So I wasn't even crying because of jewelry, I was crying because of everything, but people were thinking it's because of jewelry. Actually, I was visiting my beloved person's grave around the time that I lost my jewelry. It wasn't the same time I met my friend. It was the other time, because I loved this person, so I keep coming back to the grave and crying. And I learned some very graphic details about the way they died. So from a random person that I completely didn't expect this person to be a witness that saw that happen. So I was crying for 3 days straight. I couldn't stop. So I didn't even pay attention to whether I have my jewelry box with myself or not. I wasn't paying attention to anything. I was like completely out of it. Like, people were talking to me. I was just crying. I was in my own head. Like, I wasn't caring about anything on earth. And I would just cry like all the time. People would ask me something completely casual and I would start crying instead of answering. Yeah, the only time I didn't cry, I was hysterically laughing. Like, now. And I was such a mess. So back then I lost my jewelry. So actually, how I lost my jewelry is also about love. And I bought exactly the same necklace because actually I really like this necklace. Right now I think, there's colonizers in the area, so probably they stole my jewelry and brought it to British Museum. Who knows? Because they steal everything. And yeah, that's not the first time my love's house got destroyed. Not this particular one in Gaza, but other ones. Like the house in which he was born, a neighborhood in which he lived as a child, got ethnically cleansed to make a stupid, ridiculous, useless thing for colonizers to enjoy. And it's so frustrating because it's like, people are living there, and like that's the frustrating thing about ethnic cleansing. A lot of times they ethnically cleanse something to just make something completely useless that nobody actually needs. If you read about history of ethnic cleansings, for example, nobody's going to see this video for me saying those things, by the way. For example, Central Park, like a lot of places that are like touristic areas and aren't necessary for your survival were actually made by kicking out people of color who lived in the area and just raising the houses to the ground and you know, making the area for tourists. And that's the case of a neighborhood where, like, my love was born. It got ethnically cleansed, and right now there's stupid white people coming there and being stupid and obnoxious and annoying, and it's so frustrating. And I always think to myself, yeah, because you cannot bear like this person being so amazing. I always think to myself, that's because they cannot bear how amazing he was, and that's why they come to this area thinking that it makes them so cool and makes them more nice, you know, but they will never be like him. They will never be like him. That's why they come here. And but it got destroyed like very long ago, so many years ago anyway. And like many of these houses, like that's a very Palestinian thing, that your house gets destroyed and your another house gets destroyed and your another house gets destroyed. That's a very Palestinian thing. He was probably used to that, even when he lived like actually a lot of times when he would move somewhere, that place would explode. I'm even not kidding. Okay, I should stop talking about love of my life, because I'm going to go to jail if I say too much. I mean, I'm kidding, of course. I'm kidding. Of course, he didn't do incriminating things. Of course. I wouldn't do such things for him. I mean, I of course I would, because I love him. I would do anything he would say. So anyway, oh my God, what if love of my life would see my outfit today and he would say this outfit is ugly? I don't even know what he thought about outfits. I have no idea. Oh my God, he could be like this, because he would be like, he was like a saint. He was not into dunya. He was only about helping people and being a saint. He wasn't in dunya things. Like, in my imagination, he never ate and never had like human desires. But that's also my imagination. People probably would say it's ridiculous, but that's how he looks in my mind, you know. So, and he would always wear the same old clothes. Maybe he would hate my outfit. Oh. Okay, I have to finish this video because it's getting worse and worse. I'm not in a state to film, I guess, because I'm getting too sincere. I'm talking too much from my heart, and my heart is pure darkness. I don't have a heart, actually. So, bye. Happy Valentine's.